Hey everyone! I'm back with another episode of Jill and Her Jacks. And so, for those of you that were watching any of those videos last year, you might wonder where the heck have you been? And then those of you that are like, I have no idea even what does that mean? What does Jill and Her Jacks mean? I'll just give you a little bit of history. So, basically, last year, a lot of 2019, I was in the dating world doing a lot of the online dating stuff. And needless to say, it was very interesting. Um, Met some really nice guys, but honestly, I met a good number of guys where we just had these really, honestly, like bizarre dates in terms of just some of the conversations that would take place. Um, they were really funny, and I would realize, this is humorous, but it's not for me. And so I would go to the gym, as I still do, and share these different stories of like the night before, or the date the night before with my gym friends. And finally, one of my gym friends, that's Beth Kaluzniak, she said, Jill, you really should have a YouTube channel. You need to be sharing this stuff out there with people because this is some funny stuff. And so that's what I did. I just started a YouTube channel, Jill and Her Jacks, and I put out a series of a few videos with some funny dating stories, and there you go. So that's the history. I haven't been out here for a while, and I think my last video was nearly like maybe 10 months ago or something like that. So it's definitely been a little while. I wanted to come on here real fast, quick life update, and then I wanted to talk a little bit about what I'd like to hop on here in the future and talk about in case you're interested. So first on the life update thing. So what's interesting, I think kind of ironic and really super cool, is that last August I shot a video. It was Fetish Jack, for those of you that remember that guy who had a thing for earlobes. Basically, during that video at the end, I was laughing about like, oh my God, people are so weird, and when will I meet a normal Jack? Like, will I ever meet a normal Jack? And then I said, actually, there was a kind of a normal Jack I met a few days ago, and we'll see where that goes. So I made that comment. And what's really, really ironic and cool is that guy I mentioned, that I referred to, he's my Jack. And yeah. And I want to just share, I'm going to share, because I'm not going to do any editing of this, I'm just going to put it out there. So I just teed this up here. I want to share that little clip because I think it's kind of cool to listen to, especially knowing what you know now. Here it is.
Anyway, people are so weird. They're so weird. I look forward to meeting a normal Jack. Actually, I kind of did meet a normal Jack earlier this week. He was a pretty normal Jack. I don't know where that'll go, but anyway, crazy stuff.
Yeah, so there you go. So I mentioned him even. How cool is that? We went on our first date that week that I mentioned, and then we kind of, I just had a lot of stuff going on, and I was very hot and cold on dating, quite frankly, and relationships and things, and I wasn't really in the right mindset to really have anything in my world that was very consistent or permanent. And he had some other things going on as well, and so we lost touch for just a couple of months, and then reconnected in the winter, and then we went on our first date several months ago, and the rest is history. I get a chance to spend a lot of time with him, and he's I say he's normal. He's awesome. He's a high quality, amazing man. That's all I need to say. So anyway, there's that. So that's why I haven't been putting out the videos. So in order to try to continue to maybe put out some funny stuff here and there, and it's interesting because I'm pointing at my desk right now where I work. Sometimes just shooting these videos is a really good therapeutic activity for me. So my point is, like, I want to get on here every now and then and just do this because I shoot videos for my actual job, and sometimes those topics are, they're just more serious, and so this is kind of nice to just get out here and talk about things that are more relaxed. So for what it's worth, that's why I like this. So anyway, point is, I want to get on here every now and then, and I want to share still some funny stories, but I'd like to share other people's stories, I think, at this point, because I don't have a whole bunch. I am sure I could dig up still some more from last year. Maybe I'll do that, but I also would love to tell your story. So when I was doing this last year, I had a lot of people come to me and be like, oh my God, your story was hilarious. And here I have one, listen to my story. So I know I have various male and female girlfriends and guy friends that have had some really funny, hilarious dating stories. So if you want to share your story, whether it's kind of face on, like both of our faces here on the screen, or you can be on speakerphone if you aren't a video kind of person, or if you just want to stay anonymous and have me tell your story for you anonymously, I can do that too. But if you're interested in that, shoot me a message and let me know, because we can definitely do that, and it'll help me to be able to put out some other funny stories for those of you that are interested in continuing to hear some funny stories. And then the last thing I wanted to mention is I want to put out a few videos going forward, just here and there, little nuggets of wisdom, things that I've learned over the last couple of years. Because a little bit more about me, basically I have in my past certainly I have like earlier high school and college relationships, but then kind of post-college, I have kind of two long-term relationships that if you judge a relationship as a success or failure based on whether or not it still exists the way it was, then they were both failures, right? Obviously, one of them, he's the father of my children, and we're really good friends today, and so that's not a failed relationship. It was a failed marriage, unfortunately, but it was a great success, one of the greatest success stories, because I have these amazing children, and he's a great guy. So, point being, sometimes I look at that, look at my history of like that, the broken stuff like that, and I think it bums me out, and I get kind of sad, and I think, can I do a relationship right? Am I good at relationships? Maybe I suck at relationships or something, I don't know. And then I realized that, we're always learning and growing, and so if you can take the stuff that didn't work out very well and to figure out, what your role was in that, and how you could show up differently in the future. Again, it takes two, I think, in any kind of relationship disintegration, but what can I do? I can't control anybody but myself. So what can I do differently going forward to maybe enjoy the kind of relationship with the kind of man that I deserve, to have in my life? And so point is, I've learned and grown and a ton through the failed stuff, as well as through what I consider to be a very healthy, amazing relationship with an amazing guy now. So I've just learned a ton of stuff, and I have these kinds of pretty in-depth conversations with my kids who are 18 and 21. We'll talk about attachment styles and love languages and just relationships and their experiences and generally some of my experiences and takeaways. And so we talk about and kind of share wisdom. And what's kind of cool is they'll even share their wisdom with me. I'm not always the wise one. They'll share their thoughts with me sometimes, and I share my thoughts with them, because I do have a lot of learnings that I can kind of pass along. I think one of the biggest ones, though, is you can be 48 years old like me and still not have this stuff figured out, or still be like, I'm still trying to figure out relationships and how to, really, show up as my authentic self. And there's a quote that I love that's basically like, may your decisions be based on your hopes, not your fears. I think that's like Nelson Mandela, and I love that quote. And so how do you show up based on your hopes versus, having that scared part of you create, sometimes negative behaviors. So anyway, that's a lot of detail, more than I intended to share at this moment. But my point is, it's been quite a journey. The journey continues. I'm sure I'm going to continue to learn. I sure hope so, because I think, I want to keep learning and evolving and growing. And anyway, there's a lot of good stuff from all of that I can share. So I might come on here every now and then and just like share little nuggets of wisdom, things like that, along the lines of some of these kinds of convos that I have with my kids sometimes. So I don't know if you're interested in that, but if you are, hang out, check out the videos going forward as I put them out. And that's it. So if you like this, obviously subscribe, like the videos, share them with your friends. I'm glad that you watched this through to the end. I didn't intend for this to be as long as it is. So anyway, hope everybody's having a great week. Happy hump day. And I will be signing off now, and I'm sure I'll be back soon. Bye.